hear ye, hear ye. Welcome to the June meeting of the Forsyth Amateur Radio Club. I'd like to welcome everybody tonight. Thank you for coming out. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about, the successful Ham Fest and, of course, upcoming Field Day. But first, we're going to start with introductions. We'll go around the room. Of course, I'm Tim, AG4RZ, and we'll start with our treasurer.
I'm Henry, W2DZO. Come on, Dylan, say something. Say your name and your phone number.
Which way are we going around here?
Oh,
WX5
AAA. Les, KJ4JOAZ.
Doc, WB4QIZ.
Ray, K4ZGB.
Jim, WA4NOT.
Jennifer, KC2MEI.
I'm Max. I'm just here to find out more about her.
I'm Brad, K4SBI.
Neil, WD4LSS.
David, K4DBS.
David, N5WNB.
John, N0KTY.
Jeff, AC4YN.
Jerry, K4GWiz.
Steve, WA3RTC. Hi, Bryce.
David, KJ4OYL.
Jim, KK4GAE. Van, KC4WSK.
John, KJ4UFG.
Gary, WA4BMC.
Bill, N6ZCU, but that's changing in about one more day.
I can't really comment on that. He just got his extra, so I'm
just
celebrating.
Congratulations.
I'm Doug, KJ4IGQ.
Don, WS4NC.
Gene, WB4MSG.
Jack.
Jack, KK4DOL. Dylan, KJ4GJD.
Dan, KG4ECI.
And Eric, WK4CW.
Yeah, Eric. All right. We have a special guest viewer tonight on 3. If everybody could say hi to Bob, he'd really appreciate that. All right.
Hey, Bob.
1, 2, 3.
Who's Bob?
Bob is our Northern Club member. We'll just leave it at that.
He's actually our trustee.
Yeah, he's the trustee side. Well, we've got a lot to go over. I guess we can, unless I hear a motion regarding minutes.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the minutes as written in the newsletter.
Anybody want to second that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so carried. I guess from there we'll go to the treasurer's report.
Okay.
I shouldn't have typed them up.
He spent 3 hours typing them up.
No, I did not. I started after
It
4
must be
o'clock.
sensing some dissension.
Okay, the treasurer's report. As of right now, we made deposits of $1,740 today, so the balance is at $4,315.50. We still have to pay about a $720 insurance premium for the year, but we're in solid shape with that. So I don't know if you want to go back to the Ham Fest.
Yeah, we'll come back to
Okay.
that.
All right. So $43,1550 is where we sit right now.
For the technical committee, they are still testing, so we're going to hold off on that report. As Henry mentioned, the Ham Fest was this past weekend. I just want to personally thank everybody that came out and helped. Henry had graduation for his oldest son, so he wasn't able to be there Saturday, and you guys really made the difference in getting everything, running smoothly. Of course, Henry laid the groundwork for us, and we really appreciate that. But everybody that came out and pitched in, I really appreciate that. On that note, as I find the note here that I probably should have already had pulled up, I think we did really well. As Henry mentioned, $1,740 was deposited. Of that, $200 was from the Vagabonds for the repeater.
Hold on, sir.
And Henry may actually have the...
What do you know?
That's a good treasurer right there.
You can go ahead.
All right, obviously the receipts were $1,740, which is pretty darn good. $300 was taken out of that to make change. We had $150 in rent for that fine facility. The Vagabond repeater donation was $200. The food expenses were $134. And so the total expenses were $784, which netted us a profit of $950. We did really well. We ended up with, what, 244 people, I think is what we, roughly 244 people through the gate, which was a really good number. Not 100% sure on that because we had to do some backing out of figures to get that, and not everybody put their card in the prize wheel. So that's a pretty close estimate, though, based on the tables and everything we had.
We'll have some of the food left over for field.
Right, and we do have quite a bit of food left over for field day. So
And we did take out the leftover unopened stuff that we use for field day out of the expense equations.
And on that note, Hank's Hot Dog Stand made $200, so we turned a profit on the food, which is a good thing. One of the other clubs I'm involved in never seems to be able to do that, so obviously we need to change our recipe to what Henry does.
This is where we clap now.
Yeah. Everybody clap.
That's all it's showing.
All right, and with that, is there any questions about the Hamfest, or right now, be a good time if you got any changes you'd like to see made or anything like that, or if you're happy with it, let us know. Like I said, Henry wasn't there, so we all pitched in and did his job for him, and it took about 12 of us to do what Henry pulls off. So, but I think it went pretty well. A lot of people seem to be happy. What did everybody think of that new gym versus the traditional gym location? Good, bad, indifferent?
That was if you weren't in the know, they swapped it on us on the last minute and gave us the big room for the price of the small room, and which basically threw me into a tizzy because we had everything planned for the old gym, and then we were in the new gym, so we had to move things, and another growing pain experience. But I think we got through it okay, and whatever problems or issues we had on this, because it was a new room, we'll make sure we have that cleaned up for October. So.
Very proud of Dylan and Jack, the way they handled the prizes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Apparently, Dylan O'Leary is awesome. I kept seeing that throughout the weekend, like a subliminal message.
I saw that.
Somebody knows how to edit PowerPoint, obviously. So, with that, if there's no other comments about the Hamfest, we can move on to Field Day, which is the next big thing.
Before we do that, can I just make a quick comment about the QSO party? Because, and I brought this up, I brought it up last meeting just because we were still kind of getting things together. On our website are the results of the North Carolina QSO party. The write-up, the net changes, the band breakdowns, it put some pretty interesting stats together in terms of its increase from last year. That table right there pretty much tells you how much more activity we had. And then we did announce that in the next paragraph that this is our last year of doing it. We did it for 10 years. That was sort of the deal that we worked out with the Alamance Radio Club when we took it over. The Raleigh Amateur Radio Society has agreed, and there's a letter from their president announcing that they will be taking it over now for probably the next 10 years. And I'll be passing all the information on to them. But all the record or the scores are there. We had Jim W4UX came in, I think, 4th in the category. One of our club members, second. I'm sorry, he was second. Over 90,000 points, so he did a great job. We had 164 logs turned in, so that was pretty a pretty big chunk. And we had all our plaques were sponsored. So we finally figured out, how to make it work for everybody, and the Raleigh Club will now be taking it over. And we've, just like we put our stamp on it by changing, I don't know if you remember, but it was a 2-day event. We made it a 1-day event. We made it on a Sunday. The Raleigh Club, they might change, put their stamp on it and do things, and that's what it's all about. So they've assured us that, just like we assured the Alamance Club that we'll keep the integrity of it and keep it viable and keep it, fun for everybody. But, every couple of years something changes, and this year we made a change with the DXpedition category, and maybe next year we'll have some other changes. I'm sure they'll be exciting. So you'll be hearing about that on any nets you do, and the Raleigh Club will be announcing that in a press release. So I just want to let everybody see that the results are on our page, and that announcement is involved in that as well. So And thanks to everybody who's been a part of that. That's been a fun 10 years of messing with that. We've done, we've done some great activities with it. We've run the bonus for it, and so it's been a whole lot of fun. So now we can all play it, not have to worry about scoring it next year. They can do it. So anyway, that's the results. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions relating to the QSO party? Okay. Now we're on the field. Gene?
Me again. Me again.
Yeah, Gene and Henry. Gene's actually the field day committee chairman, and Henry's got a little demo for us. So.
Henry's got the login program that we're going to use. Well, both of them actually. We're going to use two because Jerry's bringing some small laptops he's got, and we wanted a real compact program on there. And the one that Henry's going to show, the main one, is what we all use for all of our contests and stuff, and here in the club station for the contest and stuff. It's a simple program to use, but it's just eats up a lot more space, and we didn't know if it'd run on Jerry's little laptops that he had. But at any rate, the plan so far, we're going to have 12 antennas up and 10 rigs that hopefully the bands will open and we can use. We're going to have a 10, 15, 20, and 40 sideband station. We're going to have 80 if we can. Last year, when we listened to 80, we didn't even hear anybody on 80. So I don't know what the deal was. I think we were in a black hole last year. But we worked a few, but not many. So we're going to have 80-meter dipoles up this time, and hopefully the band will open. We're going to have one station on 10, 15, and 20 CW. Another one on 40 CW, and then we're going to have a GOTA station, and we're going to have a satellite station. So that's the plans. It's somewhere between 2,500 and 3,000 foot of coax we got to throw out over there to hook all this mess up. I'm still working on antennas. I'm still working on some of the filters, but I've got some already finished. I finally finished those filter boxes I'd been showing everybody. I finished both of those, because the PSK station will run one of those, and the CW station, since they're switching bands, they'll be able just to switch filters easily. And next year, I don't know that I'll be pulling my stations apart and bringing all that mess out, because once I get it all wired in at home, it's kind of going to stay there, I think. But at any rate, this year we're going to have plenty of equipment for everybody to operate. Really, in the past, we just went out and thrown stuff up for field day and not done much planning for it. As everybody can tell you, we come to the club in the morning and grab whatever's there, and if it's an antenna that we can throw up and use, that's what we've used. But hopefully I've got things together where we can be a little more organized. We're going to have a band captain, per se, on each one of the rigs, and he'll be responsible for setting that station up and staying with it as much as he can over the weekend. I know that some people may have to leave at times, so, but hopefully it won't be vacant much of the time. And the main purpose in doing that was so that people that's not experienced in operating and wants to be able to come out and sit down and operate some with somebody that is, they can be able to show them the login, which we hope that it's probably going to cover about everybody that's going to be there, the ones that's here tonight, but I know we'll get a few that may come in, and there's talk that we may have a Boy Scout troop, and we don't know how many, but a lot of them were wanting to get their communications badges, and there was talk of them even coming out and helping set up antennas and then being able to operate some. So hopefully a control person at each rig will be able to help them and with no experience to make some contacts. We're running 100 watts this year instead of QRP, and we're going to have 2 generators there, but I think we may be able to run everything off of one. We're going to attempt that and see how it works. If not, we'll crank both of them up. But
Category?
It'll be 8A category because the GOTA station and the satellite station doesn't count, so they're freebies. The GOTA station can make up to 500 contacts, and each person, if I read things right, that operates, they can make 20 contacts, and then if they want to call it quits, they can. And another one can sit down and make 20 for a total of 500, or one operator can sit down and make 100, but that's all he can make on it. So the total maximum amount's 500 points either way you combine it there. So we'll just see if we have a bunch of Boy Scouts, we might be on the 20 per per person category, to get up to 100 or something. At any rate, we're probably going to have to do a little band sharing. I've put together the stuff to try to lay this out to separate antennas as far as we can, to keep the cross interference of multiple rigs on the same band down. But till we get set up and running, we're not going to know how successful it is. I'm building filters to help out, but the end band ones, 20 sideband to CW, still may cause a little bit of problem. I think I may have the antennas directional enough, separated enough that it'll work fine with just 100 watts. So we'll see. I had hoped that we could get enough people that could maybe get with me between now and field day time in the evenings or something, for me to show them an antenna and get them down with how that antenna is going to go up. Us even put it up in my backyard. Most of these will go up within probably a 30-minute window. I mean, they're pretty simple the way I've put them together. So, and we've got push-up masts to put them on. But if I can do something like that, I don't know how many people I can get that'll say they've got a couple hours in an evening maybe to come over and us do that. But that way, when we get out there, that could be their antenna to put up, and they'd know what was to be done with it, and it wouldn't be a lot of confusion, and then I wouldn't have to do all 12 antennas. Friday before field day, there's several of us going over, and we're going to shoot lines up in the trees for where all the dipoles will go. So we'll have that ready. The only thing we saw from Doc and Gary and myself, we played around at the house the other day, and we built a couple of the dipoles, and we had them up about 40-some feet in the air. And depending on the orientation of the legs, the SWR does this or that, and it's better in some positions than the other. Instead of trying to just cut a dipole and pull it up and have to put a tuner on it, since we're operating so many rigs, we want to try to cut them for the CW portion or cut them for the sideband portion. And it's easy to do by just moving a leg up and down. You can move it around the band and also improve the SWR from what we saw the other day quite a bit. So when we get them all up, the plans is to get over there, get all the antennas up, and then we'll start running SWR checks and getting things fine-tuned while other people are putting the stations together. And that way we won't have rigs on there and messing with our analyzers and stuff like that. Once we get all the antennas swept and tuned, then the stations are set up, we can hook them up and go to it. I hope to be over there around 9 o'clock on Saturday morning, and I think we can have all the antennas up maybe within about a 3-hour window if we've got enough help. And that'll give us a 2-hour window then to put all the stations together to get started at 2 o'clock. And if we don't make the 2 o'clock thing, it's no big deal. Something else I thought about that might be nice to do. In the past, we've just kept trying to run and stuff and have our evening meal and stuff. Might be nice to just shut down for an hour in the evening and have a meal and everybody be able to have some time, So that's another thought I would run across you and to see what everybody thinks. But we've got barbecue catered in this time. And we've also got a bunch of hot dogs we can fix. So we have 2 big packs of those left. Other than that, I have got some sheets here. I'll put a pack of them together and let you pass them around. I've given them out to the ones that are per se band captains so they could have a list of all the stuff, and I need to give Gary some. At any rate, I guess that's about it. If anybody thinks they'll have some time in the evenings over the next 2 weeks, say after 5 o'clock, and could spare a couple hours, wants to come over and us play, and I'll show you what antenna I've got ready, and if you want to take a couple of dipoles and say you'll get those up, then you'll know what's there, and we'll even put them in a box and let you take them with you so that you've got everything with you. That'll keep me from having to try to carry everything and get it together in one day. So, anybody that can help out will be appreciated.
Gene, I think one thing, Jerry, can we, on the website, if I just create a field day page and put it on the events,
Yeah.
what we'll do is rather than try to get people's email addresses, effective tonight till field day, if you're gonna be doing something on a Tuesday night or whatever, or we're gonna change the time, whatever, we'll just put it on the website. So, you know, every couple days, check the club website, and it'll have a field day update. I'll do something like that. And then,
Put it on the events or the announcements.
announcements,
And then-
maybe that's
And
good.
then stick it up there as a whole page.
Okay,
You can just create the page and we'll put it up there, we'll just go on the announcements in the middle.
and just pop it
Click
in
on
there.
that little icon. And
So it might say, hey, we're gonna meet, reminder, we're gonna meet at 9 o'clock. Gene might have people over on a Wednesday night before or whatever.
Well, here's the way it's gonna work out. Every night from 5 o'clock on, any evening, well, from Wednesday on, from then till field day, I'm available if somebody wants to get with me. All day Saturday, all day Sunday, I'm gonna probably be getting everything together, so I've got it packed up and getting it together, because I'm gonna have to tear my entire station down and bring in 3 rigs and everything else on, so it's quite a bit of stuff to move, but,
Do we need to do an RSVP for dinner?
We're gonna plan for 50.
50?
Yeah. There'll be enough barbecue and rolls and beans and slaw for 50.
and we have the hot dogs now too, so.
Yeah. We're not gonna.
But now, that was another thing, so Woody doesn't have to set up and man that grill all
I
weekend?
prefer to we're gonna have plenty of barbecue.
Are
We're
we?
paying for plenty
Okay.
of barbecue,
Okay.
so, you know, if you want a hot dog, bring a hot dog, but I think.
Okay. Well, I just knew that was talked about.
Yeah, I
the
would
other
just,
day.
I think we should just stick to, one of the packs of hot dogs is,
So you're
10
gonna do the
months.
barbecue at lunch, is that what we're doing? Or are we
Yeah.
doing that in the evening?
no, we're gonna do have the dinner ready at 6.
6, okay.
And that's for everybody. Bring your families, somebody who's interested in ham radio, tell them to come out, you know. Cliff's 50 is usually a lot
Some of
heavier
the
than.
clubs like Greensboro, they meet at 7 a.m., 6 a.m., whatever, at some place.
We've
have
always met
breakfast.
for breakfast.
You're welcome
And
to,
then-
but don't look for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be too busy getting stuff together to go eat breakfast.
I'll meet anybody for breakfast, but we don't need to meet necessarily over here because there won't be anything here.
Well, now,
Well, that's what I was,
there's a little bit of stuff in here that's gotta be taken, and,
David
Jeff's-
and, David
I mean,
and I.
David said he would.
Yeah, David and I are gonna be over here. If somebody else wants to come over and help us, we'll be here at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
We gotta get the generator, we gotta get the stuff out of the shack and stuff of that nature. So anybody who wants to help out at 9 o'clock can be here.
And listen on 6-4.
Yeah,
6-4, if you want to come.
You got a press release speaking on this. I say that because I got interested in ham radio 55 years ago from a field day I had.
Right, we'll have a press release sent out the week prior, including, it'll go to the PIO. Of course, the PIO, he's not gonna do anything with it, but, because he has one out for the state. We will have an invitation to a representative from the Red Cross. We'll have an invitation to one of the councilmen, because those are big bonus points for us, and they've come every year, and hopefully I don't see any reason why they wouldn't come this time. And we'll have a press release sent to the area TV and radio stations, and again, they get them from all these clubs. And Terry, was Terry here? Or he had to leave? I think Terry confirmed with me that he got the ARL field day locator. We're on the field day locator. So if you go to the ARL website, it's kind of cool. They have a map with like pins of all the field day sites, and ours has been updated. So that'll send people to Hobby Park. So yeah, we will have the press releases going out. We usually do that about Tuesday or Wednesday before you send them too early and they get lost on desks.
Melissa's gonna have us in the paper.
Yeah, she's always got us covered with the journal.
She's your press release person?
Melissa Hall, yeah,
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
yeah.
Last time I heard she wanted to step down, so,
Melissa?
yeah, because somebody had asked me if I wanted to do it here.
Oh, for the club?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, always, she's actually with the journal.
She's with the Winston-Salem Journal.
Yeah.
So she puts
Yeah, she's a club
stuff
member.
in the paper for us.
Oh, okay.
But yes, you're signed up, then it's on camera.
Do I hear a second? So moved.
And she's wearing a New Jersey Devils shirt. Yeah.
One more
Yes,
question.
public information officer, yes, go ahead.
I'm used to that. The
Right back.
Welcome Boy Scouts had talked to me a couple years ago regarding coming out to get their badge. And I forwarded them to the Lexington Club, and the Lexington Club didn't answer. So now that I'm aligned with you all, has anybody reached out to the
They're
Welcome Boy
coming, I
Scouts?
think. There's a bunch more.
Well, I don't know where Phil was,
Henry's,
oh, there you are. I did see.
Oh, it's 9:10? Oh, good.
yeah,
Okay.
David Rosario.
Oh, yeah, wonderful. Oh, well, he'll have them out there. Yeah.
Well, but is that the Lexington group?
No, that's St. Paul's pack.
Well, can you get in touch with them as far as there?
I used to have the lady's number. I could try to track her down, because I
Okay.
know they meet at a church or out in Welcome somewhere.
Okay.
And I did invite them out to field day like 2 years ago, but they wanted somebody to actually come in and give lessons to the kids to get the radio badge. But if we get them started and invite them out, you know,
Is this not Boy Scouts, it's Cub Scouts, or?
Boy Scouts.
It's Boy Scouts, okay. They're doing it for the radio merit badge.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot they can do at field day to add for that badge. They can operate.
What do they have to do to add for the
There's,
badge?
I've
Is
done,
any of
I've
it
done it
like
before.
putting up antennas
No,
and putting a
no, it's
station?
actually. Good try, though.
Slave labor.
It's actually,
He's trying.
there's some theory and it's more like that. But it's a broader spectrum.
Okay, who wants to teach theory at Phil Day?
We do get 100 points for some sort of educational presentation. And it has to be a documented presentation. It can't be, Gene telling about his radio he built. It's got to be actually something that the people can get involved.
Raymond can document it.
Yeah. Well, I just the fact, I think having W4NC Live would be great to do something like that. Talk to kids about it, I think it would be great. But that's 100 points and that can be taken care of too. So yeah, I think we'll have our ducks in a row in terms of people knowing about the event. The big thing is to tell people to come out. Even if they think, my neighbors think I'm a little strange because I got these wires everywhere, and I think I'm strange anyway. But on top of that, I got all this junk up there. And so I tell them, I say, come on out and, check it out. And it doesn't cost anything, and they can, we'll have plenty of food, and we have tons of soda and snacks all day and night. And hopefully, this club's been really good about the tradition of a bunch of people showing up at midnight. And it's a lot of fun. I hope that happens again. Is that going to be you?
I always show up late.
Yeah,
I like working the radio late.
We usually have a core of folks who show up later on, and then it's just a nice time to get to see everybody. So, is that it?
I guess that's really about it, yeah. If, I have a list of everyone that had signed up before and when they thought they could come and operate and help with stuff. So I've got that, and I think most of the people that was willing to do stuff through the week is already on that list from last time. But if there's anybody that knows they didn't sign up that thinks they'll have some time in the evenings or on a Saturday or Sunday evening or something, just if you'll come up here, well, I can pass this around, and that's what I'll do. I think I've got an extra sheet that's not used, maybe. No, I didn't bring that one. Well, I'll send this one around, and you can just put your name and stuff on the back of it, and a phone number that I can contact you with. So I'll put it on the back.
2 o'clock to 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock
Saturday
Saturday
to
to Sunday.
Operating time.
Yeah, and on Sunday, if some of the bands are not open, we may tear those antennas down, early, and maybe kind of pack some of the stuff up a little if we've got enough people there and things get kind of slow. But usually it's pretty well wide open till 2 o'clock. So if Henry, you want to show the login programs.
We've got two set up here, and I'll show you the first one. RightLog is a program we found years ago when we were doing a lot of contesting, and it was a great log for actually tracking contacts and tracking duplicate contacts. And it was a really neat program. We actually bought the program, and it's a registered thing. And so I'm going to show you that. I'm actually going to open a file to start. Now, when you show up at Field Day, one of these two programs is going to be on there. And you'll see them both work today, and they're very, very simple. Don't worry about having to learn a whole series of a new program. You're putting in a call sign, you're putting in a report, not even 5-9 or anything, you're putting in, you're putting in a number and a letter. You're going to put in 1 Alpha or 2 Bravo, 3 Charlie, 5 Charlie, whatever, and then a state or a section. All right? And that's it. And if you mess up, it's okay, because either somebody's going to be there or it'll all come out in the wash later on. So don't worry about messing up. What's neat about the program is it actually makes it fun to kind of track who you're working and see where you're working, what parts of the country you're working into. And there's a couple little things, like it's not all states. I think I had a newer operator once, and somebody gave them SCV, and they were like, what state is that, South Carolina something I don't know about? No, it was Santa Clara Valley, because some states, they don't use California, it's actually their ARL sections. And California has, I think, what, 8 sections or something, a bunch of them. But they're all listed there, so, you know, and they're pretty good about making it clear on phone, on sideband. You'll hear the thing. In code, you know, you just got to read it. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and the reason I'm starting from the beginning is, in case you're interested in getting it, you can see how pretty simple it is to select it. Also, if your computer freezes up at some point, you know, you're just going to have to restart the program, and you'll see that. So I'm going to start with write log. Again, this is an older version. I think they're up to version 11 point something. This is 10.47. Okay, so it's a older version, but it has everything. So I'm going to go ahead and start it up. I've put a test file in there, but I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to start a new log. First thing it says, okay, what event are you running? For those who want to think about using this later on, it has a general logger in it, so you can actually keep track of your countries and your sections and all that, if you want to use it for that. But for this case, we're going to click on Field Day. And I'll go full screen for now with this. And there's the log. Now it's a big sheet with all the contacts that'll fill up, and then there's a little operating window here that you'll put in your information that you're getting. A couple things before I start popping into all these windows that will probably be all set up for you when you get to the station. Okay, because that's what makes it fun. This is kind of boring. First of all, your input window down here, it says call, what you received, and the QTH. That's the information that you're going to swap. So for example, and let me go ahead and, since I just created this file, I'm going to go ahead and save it and give it a name. I'll call it Field Day 2012 Test. All right, and I just saved the file, and it's there. So I'm listening, and I hear AG4RZ. So I'm going to type in AG4RZ. I just typed it in. I'm going to hit the space bar. It moves to the received. AG4RZ just gave me 1 Echo, North Carolina. You don't have to know what 1 Echo is. I'm going to tell you what it is right now, but it doesn't matter. Whatever they say, just type it, hit the, and it'll go to the next line, and then you're going to ask. It's going to ask you for a state or what the QTH. In this case, it's North Carolina. I just hit enter, and that's it. You're going to give him your information, and the call sign. The call will, or the whole QSO will pretty much go like this. AG4RZ calls CQ, Field Day, go ahead.
CQ Field Day, Alpha Germany 4, Romeo Zulu.
Whiskey 4, November Charlie.
Whiskey 4, November Charlie, please copy. 1 Echo, North Carolina.
Okay, thanks a lot for 1 Echo, North Carolina. We're 8 Alpha, North Carolina. QSL?
QSL, thanks for 8 Alpha, good luck.
That's it. I hit enter, and I've done my job, and I go look for another station. That's hunting, searching and pouncing. That's where you just kind of go up the band. That's it. The call's up there. If something gets messed up, we can always go back and fix it. You know, like if you put a bunch of zeros or something in the wrong place, it fixes easy. There it is. Very simple logging program, but there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with it. And I'm going to bring some other windows in so you see. By the way, let me point out right here in the corner, this is your frequency that you're on, okay? That will be a manual thing that you'll type in. I can click on it, and you can say if we were on 40 meter sideband, I just clicked 7000 LSB and hit OK, and there it is. And then I'm on that band.
And there'll only be 2 stations that'll be switching bands, so really no one will have to.
You won't have to even switch with that. There'll be some radios that actually have it automatically done. You get to see that. That's kind of neat. All right, so there's the logging program basically, but we can pull some more stuff in here to make it fun. For example, I can pull in a band summary. It'll actually keep a list of how many contacts I have and perhaps and how many points I have, which is kind of fun to look at. You have something called a rate, which is kind of fun, especially if you're working a lot. It'll actually tell you how many contacts an hour you're making, and it's fun. I remember watching KU4BP 10 years ago, and that clock was up to 430. He was working like 7 or 8 QSOs a minute, and it was really amazing to watch the band clock, the band rate stay up that high. But that's a band. It just gives you a rate of how many contacts you're making. There's another window called Super Check Partial. And I'm going to have to set this up, which won't take long because I'll just do it quick here. Super Check Partial is a way that you can actually let the computer help you if you can't quite figure out the call sign. All right? For example, I want you to watch up there when I start typing a call in here. I hear this Whiskey 5. I hear Whiskey 5, blah, blah, blah. I can't hear it. Whiskey 5, I don't know. Well, I typed Whiskey 5, and all these Whiskey 5s came up. Whiskey 5, Delta, okay, so I hear Delta, so now it reduces it down. Delta, is it Delta Kilo? Delta Kilo? And now it even brings it further down, and these calls are up here are valid call signs of active field day and contest operators. If you send more than one login a year to any contest, your call goes in here. So I can actually check it for you tonight if you want to see your call. But it kind of gives you a help in figuring out if you can't quite get a call sign. Like in this situation, I can say, is your call Delta Kilo Kilo? Yeah, that's it, Delta Kilo Kilo. Then I can just put it in, and it actually shows me there. Alpha Golf 4, Romeo Zulu. Yep, he's active, so you see how it called up there. W4NC's in there because we're active a lot. You see W4NC in there. So that's called a Super Check Partial. It's just kind of fun to see the call signs pop up there.
It'd be a good time to mention about dupes.
About
What it does with dupes and
oh yeah,
calls.
okay. So I just worked AG4RZ. I'm going to work a couple others. WS4NC. He's operating 15 Alpha in WS4NC 15 Alpha in Nova Scotia.
In some
All right.
universe.
The what?
In some universe.
Yeah, Nova Scotia. All right, I just worked that. Then I just worked W4WS. They're 1 Delta in Florida, or northern Florida. All right, let's do that. Now, I hear AG4RZ, so I'm going to go work AG4RZ again, and I hit the space bar. Oh, I work on this band.
40
Yeah.
meters. Well, you can't. Well, you can. Yeah.
Well, he switched bands.
Yeah, I switched the band. If I go to work W4WS again now, watch what it does. It says it's red up there, and it says dupe. So if you're working down the band and you hear a guy, all you have to do is put his call sign in
Hit the space bar.
and hit the space bar, and if it's red, you've worked him already, so you don't have to work him again.
And then you just hit Control W
Alt W.
or Control W,
Yeah.
either one.
Okay, either one. For wipe, you want to wipe it away. So Alt wipe, or you can just use the delete key,
Yeah.
backspace. It'll all work. All right. So that's how you know if you don't have to work them more than once on that radio. And like Gene said, most radios are going to be just working one
Yeah.
band combination. So you're fine there. I'm going to reduce this window a little bit because there's one of the most fun things about it, and then I'll show you another program that really makes it fun, is the multipliers. Because the multiplier window shows you all the...
And that's probably the way we'll have everybody set up right there, that they'll have the login window small and that up in the corner so they can look at the state abbreviations.
Yeah.
If they're not sure, because like Henry said, Northern Florida NFL and just...
all the New England stations usually have 2-3 sections, like up there in 2-land. But you see how it's broken down: 1-land, 2-land, 3-land, and then you'll start to notice a pattern.
Yeah, well, look at
And you'll start to
California.
see, hey, look, everything is 5 and 6, or 4 and 6, or whatever. Or you can actually see where your contacts are going. So it's kind of fun. The other program we'll show you in a second actually uses a map, and it darkens them. Does it darken the map as you go in?
Supposed to. I haven't
So
looked
we're going
at
to
it.
try it. We're going to see it, and it's a free program that you can actually download, and we'll have that on these other laptops. So now, if I want to work somebody, let's say I'm going to work W1AW there up in Connecticut, and they usually run 1 Alpha and Connecticut. Say I just hit enter, and there's Connecticut's been filled in up there on the chart. So it's actually a neat way you can actually see where you're working. And that's it with this program. You've got your score, you've got your band, your rates, you've got your super check partial. You can also put a window up there called check call, which really just checks to see if you've worked them before. It's sort of redundant. Packet spots, you don't need that. It's got some other things. It's got some memories you can put in there. It's got beam headings. Of course, we're not going to be worried about swinging too many beams on field day. But if you think about using the program at home, what's nice is you can it'll actually show you.
Well, if you've got it hooked up, it'll actually turn the
It'll actually
antenna
turn your antenna for you if you want to do it. And this window's a little small, but it gives you a beam heading, and you can change things, especially for working DX. Field day would just work in U.S. and Canadian stations. There will be some DX stations that call you because they want your call sign. W4NC is a very special call because it's a state abbreviation. And because of that, there are clubs and DX organizations and contest organizations that give prizes for getting a contact with a state abbreviation. You'll hear a lot of kids answer them. Type in DX. It doesn't matter. You know, it's not going to. We don't waste a lot of time trying to explain to them that they're not involved. They know what they're doing, and we're happy to send them a card. So
Put in the QTH as what country they say in.
yeah, and they'll just go with it. So, but if you hear Estonia calling you, it's because he really wants your call sign. So, this is RightLog. Very simple. Oops! I just accidentally X'd out.
Well, wait a minute before you.
Hold on. I just asked. Oops! I just did. Well, you just click on RightLog again. It shows you the last thing that was there. I just hit open recently used, and it's all there for you. Okay. You can save every You can save every 20 QSOs if you want manually. You can just go and save here, and of course I can bring the multiplier window up again. So, but the biggest thing is don't panic if you make a mistake. You know why? Because we don't even send a log to the ARRL. We don't send logs. Nobody sends logs for field day. They just want a count, and they have a dupe sheet that we send up, which is that we worked a station. So don't, and they do that for a reason. And the explanation I got was a valid explanation. Is that we're trying to introduce people to a hobby.
This is not a contest.
We don't want them to get upset or concerned that they're going to, the club that's letting me operate the radio is going to get like in trouble if I make a mistake. No, we're just learning how to do it, and that's the fun of it. So that's RightLog. Did you want to?
Yeah, now, like at Tim's station on PSK and Ready, he'll be using the same program. If you want to bring that window up just to show people. Like this program's only like $30, and it's the best money spent for a program. If you don't care anything about contesting, but want to get on there and work with that program has got every contest in the world on it. They've updated their database, and there must be 500 contests in it. And I mean, so if you want to go on some weekend and work with 20 or 30 new countries in a contest, you can use that, and you'll be giving them the right reports and a place to log on and all that. So it's pretty neat in that respect.
One of the other things that's neat about this is the where's the CW display window, because this will actually read your code for you.
You can set someone down at this and give them about 15 minutes instructions, and they could work a CW contest all weekend and not know any CW. Its decode is fantastic, and it loves fast CW.
Actually, I could probably do that with the microphone, but that's what you'll see. You'll actually see.
That particular one is the one that you'd use if you're calling CQ, and I run it up there because if 5 people answer you and they're off frequency enough, it'll decode all 5 of them. And And if you don't get a call out of the 5 that answered you, you can look up there and type one in and answer him back and keep right on trucking, so you don't have to ask for a repeat. The other, pull the other window, shut that one down and pull the other CWD code window.
It's still the radio eddy, you just gotta change modes.
Well, it's different, yeah, well, it's not gonna.
No, it's not gonna do it. But they can see that.
Don't do that. But anyway, it has a nice little thing that's a tuning window that you tune them in, and on PSK you tune them and get the hump in the middle of the thing like most of the PSK programs, and she'll sit there and decode like a charm. But it'll run RIDI, PSK, and CW. And if you want to do voice, you can set and record your voice, all the letters of the alphabet, all the numbers, and you can operate a voice contest and never speak a word all weekend. It'll take and pull. If you want it to say Alpha Bravo 4 Mike Whiskey, whatever letter you type in, it pulls that wave file, stitches them together, and sends it out. And there's a lot of people that don't even talk in a sideband contest anymore. They just sit there and operate with that. And there's probably 2 or 3 other programs that do that. I think N1MM does that.
Yep.
So-
I have a whole, for sweepstakes, I don't even, I barely say anything on the mic anymore. I actually have every letter on a voice file, so it
Yeah.
sounds a little funny. It's like Alpha, Bravo, 4, Echo, Echo, but everybody's doing it,
Now
so.
that's if you're using this and you've got your sound cables going to your sound card and all that. They've done a neat thing with it now, and they put that in about a year ago. But like with the Aircraft K3, it has 4 voice memories in it. And what this program does, once you put the code in there, it actually just goes when you hit the key instead of to the computer and pulling it out, it pulls it out of the radio. So like to take all my stuff to field day, I only have to have 1 comm cable going to the computer. It'll control the rig, play the wave files out, send CW over it and everything. You don't have to have all this garbage of cables to hook up to make it do that. So it's pretty neat.
This is the other program, and we just closed the right log out. This is Squirrel, and this is something Gene said to bring up, mention tonight. And this is it. It's got a simple entry box and then a map. And I've never used it, so I'm going to just put a call in here.
Let's see if it
Let's
works.
put AC4 YN class none. No. 2 Bravo, and I'll put North Carolina. I'm going to submit it. Please enter your state. Oh, I have to put my call in first. Okay, W4NC. So let's
Well, we
submit
gotta
it.
select the band and all of
Yeah, I
it.
did that. I set it on 20 meter sideband. Oh, there you go. Look. All right, so I just entered it, and it put a number. How many contacts you've made in North
Well, I
Carolina?
don't know. Enter another one and see if
All right.
it states the number, because
It
I
checks
haven't read it.
WB4MSG, Class 1 Alpha, Virginia. See,
Okay,
it
but
went
now put another in the same state. and see if it's easy to-
KW3 Echo
Yeah,
Echo
yes, it does.
1 Alpha, Virginia.
Yep.
Yeah, see, it
Okay.
changes the
Because
number.
I haven't had time.
That's
to
kinda
find it.
neat.
Yeah.
That's kind of
This-
neat.
This thing is nothing of a program. It's small as can be, but we needed something to go on some little laptops that Jerry's bringing, and we didn't want to load the big right log program on there.
And check it for dupes and make sure it does that.
All right, let's and it's funny because you don't have much of a, maybe that's what the
That's what
history
the other-
is.
yeah.
History is, okay.
Yeah.
So if I go
AC4
AC4YN again.
There you go.
So there. That's kind of cool.
And just hit clear.
All W? No, it just
No,
clear.
it's clear.
Okay. All right, so there you go.
So
Dupes
you
it up.
say dupe, QRZ.
Yeah. Dupe.
Henry, put in New Jersey.
Okay.
W2ZQ.
W4,
W2ZQ.
W2ZQ. Class 1 Echo SNJ.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, look how it
Look at that.
popped
Oh, isn't that cute?
out. How does it, that's
The little
interesting.
states.
Well, what about New York then?
Well, you probably
W2
can't tell up in there that's so close together.
DZO is 1 Alpha Eastern New York. Where does it put that? Oh, it
In
puts
New
it up
York?
there. What about NLI? W2AA 3 Alpha NLI. Where's it put that?
It puts it in New York. It does a state
Oh,
title.
it says a state, okay. So, anyway, there's another program, and we literally downloaded, I searched for Squirrel Field Day Logger, and it it came right up, and then we just pushed one button, downloaded it, and that was it, so.
Is that SQURL?
Yeah, SQUIRL,
Okay, it does have an
squirrel.
It's like 311 KB.
Yeah,
Now,
and blow the login window up and show them, I mean, it's kinda neat.
yeah, you can probably do
Somebody
the,
that,
the history, view history,
It's not just the whole
White
log,
log too.
the whole login window.
for the whole
Oh,
line.
yeah, do the
Like you
double
say,
size,
maybe
do double
double
size.
Oh, double size, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
So it's,
Yeah, if you got eyes like mine, there you go.
No,
so,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what.
Don can run that.
I can read it.
And it doesn't have a lot of other junk floating
Almost.
around, so. it's
Yeah.
pretty neat.
And the map is great, that's a neat idea, because one year we actually had somebody's job, I think my 10-year-old was doing it for a while. Their job was every time a new state, they'd have to go up and put a dot on it, so we had all these dots on the map.
Well, and that was something I meant to bring up. Don and I had talked about, if he could get his printer working, to maybe put us a big map up that somebody could go color in to show what states we'd work, just to see if we end up working all of them over the weekend, but.
Output compatible with White log.
Well, it doesn't,
It'll do ADIF
it doesn't
files.
matter with our logs, all we have to do is send
Send them a dupe
each
sheet.
log sheet, so, it doesn't really matter if we're asked for.
I wonder if it'll,
Click file and see how it saves us.
well, I was gonna put a KP4 in.
Oh,
see
Well,
if-
it's saving continuously, and I think it does it per band if I read right.
It does,
So-
yeah.
So,
Set it up.
Neat. So, there's two different, there's a bunch of different programs, but for field day, this looks pretty easy. And somebody asked me earlier, they said they might not be able to come, but if they did, is it okay if they operate? The answer is yes. If you want to operate from home, you can operate from home. And you can come operate field day 2 with us. You can't work you can't work your own station from another operation.
someone was asking me if you can go over the internet, could we just carry our computers out there and leave the rigs at home?
No.
And operate, but
No.
there's a 1,000-foot circle
Yeah.
limit to it.
But the other thing is the number is just how many stations are active at any given time in the operation. So we're 8A. We're not going to have 8 stations transmitting
Yeah,
the
we
exact
are.
same time. Well, we will, yeah, but not all the time. But that doesn't matter. That's the number. Some stations, and I don't know why they do it, but they do it. They'll change their operating right in the middle of the contest. If you stick with the first one, it doesn't matter. You write down what they tell you, but we're not going to do.
Gene,
We
you think
have
it's
one
got bad
thing.
with 8A? Can you imagine what it's like for 23A, which
Yeah.
we've heard?
Yeah.
They got more
The
room, more money.
36.
That's
And
next year.
just so you know, the A stands for a portable station, a club portable station. So that's why we're A for Alpha. B is a
Battery.
battery station. C is a mobile station, I
I
think.
think you're right, yeah.
D is
Home station.
at your home station, running off portable, running straight,
Running off the
mains.
mains. And
E is
running off portable power.
right, and then there's a new one, F, and F is an
EOC.
EOC. This, if we operated field day from in here, we would be considered an F station, and you'll hear some of those too. So those are the different classifications, and then the number is just, of course, how many rigs are operating at any given time. So he said, well, can you operate 26A? If you get 26 stations running at once, and then you pull them all off and just run one the rest of the time, you still run 26A because you had 26A at one point. So
And we did 5 alpha last year, but we were battery powered. weren't
we were five or six A, B, yeah, but we just report A, but in the log when we send it in, we were actually QRP, so we get extra points for that. You know, the more less power you run, the more points you get. But in this case, I think Gene was spot on this year, was that with letting us run power, so we can get a lot more people making a lot more contacts and actually showing up to field day and say, hey, this is fun, I can make contacts, as opposed to, well, I watched some guy for 3 hours make 3 QSOs and he's running a tenth of a watt. Well,
Henry, it's like I told Gene last year at field day. Running QRP at field day is like running 100 watts at worldwide.
yeah, it's just, it's fun, but anyway, so if anybody wants to try this, I'm going to leave this hooked up here for a little bit. either one of the programs, just click it and enter some call signs in. Any questions about the logging?
Great job.
All right.
Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Gene. Appreciate
Yep.
that. All right, I guess about the only other thing left would be Dale and the tech committee. If you want to give a report on that, and of course the testing also.
I'll start off with the testing, thank you. My name's WB, we'll call it WB9SL. And first of all, for the testing, I want to congratulate Terry and Steve and Mike Atkins that have worked as VECs this test session. We had 3 test sessions, almost 2 hours today, so we have some fairly positive results. But thanks for the VE examiners. We had the first session, we had 4 people, 2 people upgraded from no license to a tech, and 2 went for extra. One of them passed, the other one had a good look at the exam. Session 2, we had the 2 people that passed their tech. One went for the general, he didn't study, and he passed it.
All right.
So, the young man is, what, 14 or 13?
Close to that.
So he did quite well. The other gentleman is more familiar with the general test for the next session. Third session, the individual that passed his tech and his general, and he's 14, thanks to Steve and Terry, they encouraged him to go for his extra. He went for his extra, and he has a pretty good idea what to look for. So special congratulations to them. I think one gentleman was here that passed his extra, and I heard the congratulations. I assume that's what it was. William Ryan, an N6 call. Okay, for the repeaters, the good news is, as of about 2 hours ago, all 3 were up and running. 4.7, 6.4, and 4.40. 6.4 seems to be doing fine. Once in a while we have descents. That's a project in the future we'll look at. 4.7 is doing okay, but I had a report that the audio is going up and down sometimes during the Vagabond net when it overheats. So I think there's a bad pot in there. 444.275 on Baptist Hospital is doing okay, but that can use a little help sometime in the future. Okay, for the 4.7 machine, the new repeater, we have that on in Winston-Salem. We're working on it. It's probably going to be another, I won't put a time frame on it, but hopefully this summer we'll have it up. Right now, it's the new controllers interface to it. It sounds real good. It's got great digital audio, and actually the receiver is based on Kenwood design for pure DSP. It's all digital. So I think you'll find when it does get on the air, it'll be doing a lot better. But we have some things to go through as far as changing the configuration and building some interfaces. Last but not least, the Echolink nodes 4.7 is up and running, and 6.4 in the other room will hopefully be up and running about 5 minutes after we are able to spend 5 minutes in there before we shut down. You're reminded of that. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Dale. One other little thing. There were a set of keys that were lost at the Hamfest Saturday. Obviously, the person that lost them was able to get home because all they are house keys and a Dick's Sporting Good rewards card. If anybody lost those, see me, or if you know who might have lost them, tell them to email info@w4nc.com and we'll get them back to them. So,
Might be able to scan the Dix.
I tried plugging the number in and come up with anything. So.
One thing to remember, if you are a technician, you can operate full privileges at field day.
Well, you can anyway, basically, because you don't, we're gonna have control operators.
If you're a non-operator, you can have full operating.
Well, in the
privilege.
other section, that's right.
All right. Don?
There are 2 people I need to embarrass a little. Commander, isn't it, Raja,
Who?
is back from service in Germany where he worked on our serviceman. We're tickled your true back.
And thank you to everyone for the ginormous QSL card that graced the wall of my abode this whole past year. It was a really nice touch at home.
Okay. Secondly, we had somebody who hasn't been here in about 4.5 years who came back tonight because he graduates in December. Bradley, KI4STI, and he's been to NC State and ROTC, and he's going to finish up in December. Congratulations.
All right, is there any other business? Do I hear? Okay, go ahead, Jim.
The, Dale has the new 440 radio to be tested. But
Thank you, Jerry.
Thanks, Jerry. I forgot to mention that, I've got to put a heavier power cord on there, but Jerry went through a lot of time programming the frequencies in there.
we need to add some more to it.
Yeah, we'll have a 440 rig in there at the Club Shack here soon. Thanks for reminding me.
Cool. Any other business?
I do have some more of these things of field day of all the station layout and stuff, if anybody wants them, I brought some extras in case somebody wanted to take a pack of them and just look over.
Do I hear a motion? You guys want to stick around all like you can?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
All right. All in favor? Go home, have fun.